I want to say first, I did a huge recording for Purim, and I tried to upload it to my computer this morning, and I thought I did, and surprise, it wasn't there. I am so sorry. I had my husband singing, my son was dancing, but I'll tell you one of the funny stories that happened when I went to the Beit Knesset. And one of the funny stories is, like, we read the Megillah, a book of Esther for Purim, and it talks about what happened in our history and how it was such a miracle that we survived. So you have to hear every single word. And there is no talking. Children learn from very young, no talking during the Megillah reading. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, you hear these two old men having a conversation as if they were outside, okay? As if they are not in the Beit Knesset, listening to the Megillah, and they're just talking. So people are going, shh, 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 you know? So finally, this older gentleman, because no one else would go over and say anything to them, right? Because they're older. They're about like 70. So this older gentleman, who's probably like a friend of theirs, when he goes over, he's like, go outside to talk. And the whole time they're like, I'm sorry, forgive me. They are just talking and chatting as they're saying, I'm sorry. And so they're walking out. It took them like at least 10 minutes to walk out of the show because they're talking and they want to apologize to every man that they pass, that they disturb them. So we're all waiting. The person that's reading the Megillah, he has to keep his finger on the last word and he's not talking. So it took a good 10 minutes for them to leave. And it was so funny because they're older gentlemen, they're like 70, and they're just talking like they're outside, like we're not there to read the Megillah. It was so funny. And then all you could say was malasot, what to do. So that was really funny. My kids got so many treats and so much candy and everything. You would think it would last forever. It is not going to last. It's going to be gone probably by the end of this week. My son has a birthday on Wednesday, so I have to make him a cake to take to school. Usually when your kids go to school and they have a birthday, the school will arrange a day and then they bring a cake. You bring a present for each of the kids, like something small, like something, I guess if you went to the dollar store or something, you would get like something little small thing and you give them a treat. And, you know, your son pass it out and then everybody sings happy birthday. They might put him in a chair and raise him up or something. As they get older, they don't do all that. They kind of maybe come up with a game. So for me, Purim, his birthday, that's kind of like how I think. Purim, his birthday. So today, while he's at school, I plan on making his cake because I cannot seem to be as creative when my kids are standing over me. So that's it on that. So another thing I found, I love finding other vloggers who live abroad. And I get like lots of ideas of things to talk about in Israel based on their vlog. And I'm not going to lie, I need it because I've been here so long that things that I think are just barur, like things that are just something that you just kind of know, you don't realize that people who don't live here or come visit would need to know those things. So I need ideas from people who just moved abroad less than 3 years ago or something, and it's still fresh in their mind. I think I'm also going to talk about like all the stories that I have been through in my life living here in Israel from before, because those are funny. And after hindsight, I can laugh about it, you know. But one of the things that I didn't think to mention was about hot water and how it works in Israel, or different appliances that are a must that you must have in Israel, or how the phone works, or just things that you just think, okay, you left America, you go to another country, you get a phone, you have heating, you have like whatever, you think it'll be the same, but it is so not. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. Ways of heating up your hot water, and one of them is by electricity. This is a timer. You have to get this installed. It doesn't cost so much, but you can set it before you go to bed, and when you get up in the morning, you have hot water. This people tend to use only in the winter time. I actually don't even use this so much because I just turn it on. The water becomes hot in 30 minutes, and I have hot water. So, yeah, you turn this on, wait 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, and then you have scalding, boiling hot water. The way that you heat up hot water is from the sun. And the sun, like now, I have nothing on. I don't use electricity and I don't use gas. My water is going to be hot from the sun. It's solar power. And every building in Israel has solar power in every building. So people usually use hot water from the sun before they'll turn on the electricity or the gas. So the gas hot water you have to turn that on, and that's instant. So in the summertime, you would only use, it's called the dud shemesh. So when you check out an apartment, you would say, is there a dud shemesh? Do you have chashmal, or do you have gas? Gas is gas. Chashmal means electricity. And dud shemesh means from the sun. Dud shemesh. Shemesh is sun. So dud is the actual, or yonkers. Yonkers is the word for the actual thing. Do you have yonkers, which means automatically like gas, hot water. That you have in Israel is everyone has a kumkum. A kumkum is an electric kettle that you need, and it boils up your hot water. People put eggs in it or whatever to boil something really fast. I don't. I just use it strictly for hot water. And everybody has this in their home. You must use this. Because you will not want to boil water on the stove because it'll cost a lot of money. You might want to use a coffee maker, but that's wasting electricity because this only use is for coffee, maybe tea or something. So that doesn't really make sense. What's really interesting in Israel is that the plugs, the sockets, are always in the middle of the wall. They are never on the floor. They're always right in the center at eye level. I didn't have no idea, it's such an eyesore. And but people, it's such a normal thing that you don't think about it. This that I'm actually looking at right now is my phone. So you can't plug it directly in the wall and then use the modem. You need this adapter here thingy that they give you when you call the phone company and they come out, or you go to the phone company. And see, it says for the phone, and here is for the internet. And then see, there you go. There's my plug for my refrigerator that I have right here. And then that is going to connect all my office stuff. Everybody uses lots of surge protectors all over their house. Let me see if I can grab one. This is a surge. That's my office. That's like a balagan of books and stuff that I work on. So as you can see, there's like different ways that you can save money by being conscious of what you're using before you use it. For example, another thing with the kumkum, a lot of people will boil water first thing in the morning for their coffee or tea or whatever, and then they'll have like a big thermos, and they'll take all that hot water and they'll pour it into the thermos, and then they'll just use the hot, because you'll drink tea and coffee throughout your day, but why keep turning on the kumkum? You pour all the hot water into your thermos, and then you pour from the thermos, because the thermos keeps hot water all day, right? It lasts at least 8 hours if you have a good one. And you're just pouring from your thermos instead of using the electricity to heat up your water every time you need to use it. The same thing with taking a bath or a shower, washing dishes. Another thing that everybody does with the dishes is they don't wash every time there's like dishes in the sink. They'll do all the dishes first thing in the morning, right? And then they will do it at night before they go to bed, because you're running hot water. And one thing in Israel is the water is very important. It's really precious because it is a desert. I mean, we don't really think about it, but Israel is in the desert and we really depend on rain. And right now in the Kinneret, it's not at its normal level. It keeps getting lower and lower. And the water is very precious. So the water is really expensive also. So you have to be conscious of like how much water you're using just because you're being thoughtful. Some people don't. My neighbor downstairs, she sponges outside. She has tiles. And I know that she cleans with her water hose a lot. But at the same time, I'm not sure if all that water is going to do her, because she has trees also. So the water might be rigged to go there. It might be some people also with their washing machine. You know how the water goes to the wall or the pipes or something. Some people have the water draining into the ground from the washing machine so that the ground gets water, so that the trees can grow and the flowers can grow. Like, people are very thoughtful of things like that. So I always find that interesting here in Israel, how people think before using things. Everything is useful. So you have these 3 ways of heating your hot water. So you go, oh, great, I can heat up my hot water 3 ways. But as you're heating it up or you're using it, you're thinking like, okay, what's the best way to save money using the hot water? Which one's going to give me my hot water faster at that time of year? In the summer, it'd be ridiculous to turn on your chashmal or to turn on the gas. It really doesn't make sense. The sun heats up the water brilliantly, and it's so hot. It's so hot, you could probably make a cup of coffee with that water. What else? So that was like a few things that I wanted to tell you about some of the interesting things in Israel that may not be in America. That's something that you don't think about. Another thing is about the voltage. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but it's 220 here in Israel. And actually in most places in the world, I think America's voltage is the lowest that I can think of. I think it is. But you don't want to take anything from America, like your curling irons and your blow dryer and all those things, to another country. Like if you're going on a trip, right, you can, but you also need to buy the adapter. The problem is that sometimes when you buy those adapters and you go to another country, the system, the electrical work that they've put into the building that you're staying in may not be able to give you enough juice to use your dryer or your flat iron, because also electricity is very expensive and people don't use it. Like right now, I don't think I have on any lights. I don't keep on lights during the day because the sun is enough. I don't turn on lights until it starts getting dark in the house. So in America, everything's like very like given freely and you use it in abundance and so on and so forth. So those are things that you have to think about when you go abroad.